Oh God. The fact that this is so heavy should be an indicator that I should not be doing this. Hi guys, April here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 3 of Vlogmas. Today I'm going to be going over my December TBF. Not a TBR, but a TBF, to be finished. All of the books and comics I have listed here will be things that I have started in some way, shape, or form, but never completed. There's a stack. There could have been more. Let's get started. First up is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. This is a book that I started last month and it was on my November TBR. It's about a woman who is on a luxury cruise who witnesses a murder. It started off really strong. I really did enjoy it, but somehow I put it down and I never picked it back up to finish. So I want to complete it before the end of the month. Next up is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. I never talked about this book on my channel before because I honestly thought I had finished it. But when I was rearranging my shelves, the bookmark fell out and I was only about a third of the way through. So I didn't finish the book even though I thought I had. So I want to finish it off. Well, I'll have to start over at this point because I think I started this book like 3 years ago. But I want to finish it off and complete it because I've already read the prequel graphic novel Wraith. I guess I need to find out how this story really ends. It's about Victoria. She's a little girl at one point and she has a special gift. But she meets a man named Charles Manx, and Charles Manx is this guy who rides around in a Rolls Royce Wraith, and he lures children into his car and takes them to a place called Christmas Land. He attempts to do the same thing to Victoria, but she's able to get away. Later in life, after Victoria has become an adult, she returns home and she wants to end Charles Manx and his antics forever. So that's essentially what I think the synopsis of the story was. Is probably way more nuanced, but I don't want to read the whole thing. But yeah, from what I recall, I was enjoying this story. I do not remember why I stopped reading it or why I never picked it back up, but I do want to finish it off before the end of the year. Next up is Morningstar by Pierce Brown. Now, I started this series maybe a year or two ago. Red Rising was the first book, Golden Sun was the second, and Morningstar is the third. I believe that it is now a quartet, so there's another book that's with it, but I just want to get through the first 3, y'all. This is a sci-fi dystopian story. Humans are now living on several planets within the solar system, not just Earth. The protagonist's name is Darrow, and in this world there is a caste system based upon color. The Reds are the lowest of the caste. They're essentially slaves, and the elite class is the gold. Darrow is a member of the red class and he suffers greatly in that position. But he and a group, I guess you would call them freedom fighters, are fighting against the system and they want to break it forever. So Darrow goes through a transformation and becomes a gold. And when he enters the world of the golds, he finds out that they are as ruthless with each other as they are with everybody else. Essentially, this is basically Games of Thrones in space. The rest of these are all comics, series that I have started and that I want to either finish or catch up on. First up is Paper Girls. This is volume number 3. I believe volume number 5 comes out this week. So I really need to catch up on this story. It's written by Brian K. Vaughan, distributed by Image Comics. It's about 4 girls who had a paper route and their adventures as they are thrust to and fro through time. I didn't really love the first volume. The second volume was much better, and I'm hoping that it will continue to improve with the third and the fourth. Next up, The Wicked and the Divine. I don't really need to go over a synopsis with this because every comic review I have had over the last, I guess, 2 or 3 months has involved me talking about this series. Yet I am behind. This is volume number 5. I do have 6 and 7 that I also want to get caught up on, but I really want to get caught up and finish out what I have in-house before I move on to any new additions. Next is Sidekick number 2. I talked about this maybe September or October. I read volume 1. It's about a sidekick named Flyboy here who basically has a psychotic break, and I think he's going to end up becoming some type of a villain. I'm not really certain. This was a dark and twisted superhero story written by J. Michael Straczynski. I enjoyed the first one, but I'm not 100% certain why. But this is the second and final volume, and I want to complete it out because I'm really curious as to where he's going to take this character. Next up, I have Clean Room, volumes 2 and 3. This is written by Gail Simone. It is, I guess we can call it an urban fantasy / sci-fi, dealing with a Scientology-like cult whose belief system may be based in something way more tangible than most people believe. I only read the first volume. The mystery was just starting, but the story is so surreal that I really want to find out exactly what else is going on. Next up, Black Monday Murders. This is volume 2. I read volume 1 in October, and I believe this closes out the story also, so this will be the last in this series. It's a crypto noir story about a financial institution that uses the occult and the worship of a god named Mammon in order to reap benefits financially, personally, and I guess in some way spiritually. Jonathan Hickman is also the writer of East of West, so I want to finish out Black Monday Murders before I start his East of West series. Next up is Motor Crush Volume 2. I believe this is the last of this series. It is written by Babs Tarr, Brendan Fletcher, and Cameron Stewart, distributed by Image Comics. This is about Domino Swift, a motorcycle racer with a mysterious past, and at the end of volume 1, her past was just beginning to reveal itself. Volume 1 was amazing. It was a 5-star read for me. I loved it so much. It just hit a lot of nice notes. I really do want to finish it out, but at the same time, I also want to save it for a time when I might be in a reading slump and need something to get me out of it. And lastly, Nailbiter. This is a hardbound edition of volume 1, but I am on, I believe, volume 4 or 5. There are 8 volumes in the entire series. I picked up 8 during Black Friday. I would like to complete this story. It's written by Joshua Williamson. It's distributed by Image Comics. I really enjoyed it. Brief recap. It's about a guy named Edward Nailbiter Warren. He is a acquitted serial killer, and his relationship between him and his hometown of Buckaroo, Oregon, and the question of why so many serial killers seem to originate from this place. So far, I think this is great. It is dark. It has a kind of twisted humor about it, and it's really an original take on a serial killer theme. So that is it for my 2018 TBF. Things that I need to finish before the end of the year. This is not all the stuff I have scheduled to read for this year. There are other comics I want to read. There's a readathon that I plan to participate. I think that starts next week. So I have to somehow work, try to create a video every day, and read all of these books, and keep up with my Hallmark viewing schedule. I have the app on my phone, and I am falling behind on some of these movies, y'all. I need my sleep. Are there books that you have started, that you have on your shelf, that you said, when I get a moment, I'm going to get back to that? If you have, let me know which ones you have on your shelf too, and do you plan on getting to them before the end of the year? If I can do it, you can do it. Let's do it together. Oh, that sounded really suggestive. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because you know how much I appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.